everybody, Josh Silock, Physical Digital. Today, the video is going to be based on the second part of the series of creating art and using AI. So let's give you some tools to help you with that. Now, I'm not going to use the big splash and the clickbait titles and stuff like that. I'm not using that yet. And I probably get a whole lot more views if I did. But if you think that I should start using the clickbaity titles, let me know in the comments below. But besides that, let me give you some tools to who I use to follow AI. All right, here we go. Bam! This guy right here is one of the ones that I do follow. He's really good. His name is Olivio Sericus, and he does stuff all the time. Give him a follow. This is one of his videos that I followed to be able to install Stable Diffusion, and it shows you how to get it working locally. Why would you want to do that? Well, if you're spending a whole bunch of money to create art and online, why don't you save that money, go do something else with it, and just use the power of your own computer? And you can do it. It doesn't take long. Like, here is a 9-minute video. You just follow the steps. It's very easy. Also, for your convenience, I'll put the links in the comments below. But wait, there's more. That one fella isn't the only one that I follow. Here's another guy that I follow to get more AI, different softwares and stuff to work with locally. Now, Stable Diffusion is kind of like, think about that as like your base program is Stable Diffusion. You can get things on top of it, pre-built models. One of those that does, it's like a model, does other things, it's called Automatic 1111. And here is the fella called Sebastian Kampf, who goes through and shows you how to install Automatic 1111. Now, you're gonna want a little bit of a larger hard drive. Some of these files, these like Automatic 11, is going to be like gigs big, multiple gigs big. So it's going to be fairly large, but you can do it. It doesn't take long. I will also take a copy of this and put it in the comments below. Let's move on. All right. The reason why I'm not going to go through all of this super intensively is because other people have done a far better job than I can, and I don't want to redo the work that's already been done. Sebastian Kampf, I'm also, of course, going to include this below, but this is his video on how to do Stable Diffusion for beginners. It is 27 minutes, but what it does do is it goes over all of the different features from text to image, image to image, the extras, how to get information on stuff you've already created if you want to like pull out prompts, how to train your own model, the deforum, there's all kinds of stuff you could do, and kind of like it's kind of like a tutorial to show you how to do it. It is not hard. It's 27 minutes well spent if you're an artist or you're using these softwares to learn how to get really the most out of them. And like I showed you in video 1, sometimes just changing a resolution from something small to something bigger changes your results completely. One of the things that I also use Stable Diffusion for is up-resing using AI. So that's like, got an image, you want to make it bigger, but you don't want to lose resolution, and you don't want to pay a bunch of money. Well, you want to get Stable Diffusion to do that at least, and that's one of the things I find it very useful for. Open sourced audio creation with AI, made by the same people behind Stable Diffusion. Well, that's new as of 2 days ago. One of the reasons why I follow people that are following this closer than I am, they just have more time to do this stuff, is because I know they're at the front of the wave of their passion. They are following it. They are putting out stuff day to day. Now, I know you're going to get my weekly updates like I'm going to be doing later on today in crypto. And the reason why I don't do daily updates like some of the other people in the scene is because I simply don't have time. I've got a day job. I've got the night job for physical digital, creating art and everything that involves. It's no small amount of time to do that. And so I simply don't have the time to follow everything. However, I can follow the people that do have time to follow some of this awesome tech. Now, Sebastian Camp, 2 days ago, new stable diffusion audio release. Now, since I'm like literally just finding out about this now, I'm going to install it because this is something that I'd like to use at least in some part if I can for my collections. But if I can find something useful or for advertising would be cool too, to use it for advertising. For the piece de resistance, you find people who are here, and I'm making this for, there's not many of you, but I appreciate you for being here. Let's show you the secret, some of the secrets. Now, one of those things is, of course, we just told you how you can get automatic 1111 or stable diffusion installed locally. You can follow the links. It does not take long. It takes a little bit of time. You can probably do it on a weekend. But now once you got that, now where comes the real flair is that you can either make the models yourself or you could use models that have already been created. Now, each model is going to kind of put out a result that's uniquely its own kind of thing. So let's show you what I'm talking about by models, by trained models, if you're not sure of the terminology around AI art stuff. Let's show you what it is. Bam! There it is. Okay, so models, Civit.ai. Now these, as far as I know, don't cost anything. These are free. People just make these available and you can explore them, and it kind of gives you a feature image which is very similar to what the style is that it would create, right? So, if we look at this one here, here's somebody that did a style with an overlay, and you can see the consistency here of how it kept the same style of face and the same image. We're not getting a whole bunch of variation, at least with her, maybe a little bit in the necklaces, but by and large, it's staying fairly consistent, which is pretty amazing. And there's lots of people talking on the side, so you can see that the prompt that created this, we've got it on the right-hand side here. If we zoom in, generation data, we've got the prompt, we've got a negative prompt. Okay, so when you got a quote, usually the quote will make something, it'll amplify the power of that particular prompt. And so here they want to keep, it looks like low quality 1 to 4, worst quality 1 to 4, normal quality. So they're trying to keep out low quality stuff, and so we can see that now the order that these are in is it's good for syntax if you kind of describe things and do it systematically the same way every time, just for consistency. But I think it's as far as I know, the order doesn't really matter too much. Please correct me if I'm wrong down below. Look at this. This is just absolutely amazing. But yeah, so these are some of the prompts that we can see. Now these are so you're not only getting prompts here, but this is where you're going to be able to get the models, right? So when we go up here, we can go explore all the models. Just going to let this load. And yeah, so we can see the SDXL, Mysterious, Chroma, Epic Realism. I have downloaded, some of these models are going to be very big. I've downloaded different ones before and messed with them. This is just one of those things where it takes time. Here's the Niji. Some people really like Niji, But it really depends on what your particular flair is. But like I said, the laws are different around AI in different countries and who your customers are too. If you're an artist and you're selling your art, if you're selling to US customers, the laws are different for that than they are if you're, say, only selling to European customers and you're based in Europe, or you're based in a country which doesn't really have clear regulations yet and you're selling to European customers. It is different. There's already been some great decisions, I think, from Europe, but the ones out of the States, not a big fan of so far. Juggernaut XL, look at how realistic some of these images are. Just amazing, absolutely beautiful. And when you're creating art, you're gonna get some weird fractals, some weird third limbs, and some epic strangeness. And there's a time when you're gonna decide, okay, I've made a bunch of art. What am I using this for? Am I making t-shirts? Am I making posters? I'm making this available for someone else. And are you going to add anything else to it besides just this to make it your own? Remember, if you got United States customers, you'll want to do something else on top to really kind of make it unique, right? And if you want to know how to install models, let's go over that. All right, so inside, once you download the model, it's going to be pretty big. You're going to find out where you installed your Stable Diffusion. This is an old Stable Diffusion. I'm not currently using this one to create Lust and Desire, but here's another one that I've done more than a couple installs. Sometimes when you do an automatic update, the automatic update can actually wreck your Stable Diffusion, in which case then you've got to reinstall it and then copy your models over to the new one. But I'm just going to go inside of models here, and then you will put your you'll just create a model folder if it doesn't have one, models, and then or just go into the models one if it's already there, and create the folder for what it is you're installing. Let's say we've got one here which is Deforum. That one's empty. Let's go inside the Stable Diffusion one here. And so we can see there's a whole bunch of YAML source files and CKPT files. You would put that folder or the file that you're downloading in there. And when you load up Stable Diffusion, I'll show you what happens. So in the top left-hand side, like right up there, you can see where in her video, let me make this bigger for you. We can see right at the top, right up here, that
the available models are shown into this
you're going to click the drop down, it'll be in here.
Now you have model, and
now once you click that new model, it's going to take a while to load. Like I said, it's a very big file, but once it finally loads, then you can put in, of course, all your negative prompts, your positive prompts, your negative prompts. You can mess around too with your different sampling methods. One of the things that I would suggest to do, like I said in video 1, is that when you make changes to your model, make small changes, like only change one thing every time, so that you know what it is changing, what effect it has on the art that's being created. And as a warning, yes, you can be hacked by downloading models from the wrong place. This is where I'm pointing you specifically to people, the two that I already mentioned, that not only know that some of this shenanigans is happening, but like this guy right here, AI Entrepreneur, another great one to follow. The kind of shows you what to do, and today is going to be so that you don't get hacked. Number one thing, trust the source, know the source. So we know Stable Diffusion, Hugging Face,
coming from some
right?
Weird, shady, sketchy websites.
So that's an example of a sketch website. Let's not do that.
Not the best decision that you made today.
We want to go to places like
try to download from trusted websites like huggingface.co, since they have currently in place a security scanner that scans every file pushed to the hub.
So when we look at this, he's saying to download this pickle checker. And what this pickle checker does is it's going to check all your models that you've got in your folder to make sure that they don't have an exploit in there. Now, I don't run a whole bunch of models. I picked one and I want consistency for the collection that I'm creating. And so I'm not getting a whole bunch. I got one. It does what I want. It works the way I want with the quality that I want. And it's, you know, when you want it to be more creative, sometimes you're going to get weird, more craziness. But by and large, I am using just one model in that in my production stable diffusion. The other one that I showed you before, update messed that one up. So I'm either going to delete it or I might use some of it later. Arcane was pretty cool though. But I think that's about it. I wanted to keep this really short and sweet. AI Entrepreneurs, another great follow, and I will also post that in the below there. But if you got something out of this, please, I can do more. I can definitely show you more about the models. If you got any questions about any of this stuff, if you start dabbling with it, or if you think that you want to start dabbling with it, hit me up below. I've been following this for probably about 8-9 months, maybe even a year now. And the progress when it comes to AI is almost going parabolic. It really is incredible. One of the cool things that I don't know if I've talked about before with AI, but imagine it like a child, right? So imagine you have a child and your child, you give a piece of paper and it starts drawing. Well, the art that it's going to do on that day may never be the same. You might never be able to get consistent results to do that same kind of art again. When the child grows and it learns more and its skills get better, it's going to change what it creates and the way that it creates. And this is kind of interesting because in some ways, some of the art that you're seeing now, if it's the older style AI art, you may never be able to find again because that AI is learning and growing, and you'll find that even in some cases people want to use older versions of Stable Diffusion or older models because they will be able to get a specific type of result out of that they won't be able to get by getting some new version or what have you. And there has been cases where the AI actually learned too much and it started going backwards and getting super derpy. But that is all. Thank you for being here. Likes, subscribes, and comments are appreciated. Josh out. Thank you. Take care.